Robinson.
Oh,
what a
good
feed
pass.
to Jones underneath. Forces the shot, gets the foul.
There's the versatility of Robinson. He actually made a pass from 18 feet. The tallest guy from Southern Cal throwing the ball into the post to the smallest guy. Here we see the pass on the inside. Good look. Here comes Robinson outside, was going for the shot, threw it back inside. Excellent play, and there's the foul.
Dean Jones at the line as Ron Baxter picked up his second personal foul. Jones shooting at less than 60%, but good action on that first free throw.
Well, Baxter's had some hamstring problems. Was even a doubtful starter as late as yesterday, but looks like he's physically fit to play today.
7-6, the Trojans of Southern Cal. Two conference leaders here. Southern Cal leading the Pac-10.
UCLA has to keep the pressure on Texas, as I said from the top of the show. If they let Texas set up, they'll be in trouble.
Gets the ball over to Baxter. Baxter takes his first shot. Off the back, Banyan is there. Oh! Knocked away. Jones. Martino. That's his first 2 points.
That was the first time that the zone press really gave some trouble. It got the game into a running ball game. Of course, Texas likes to play the running game.
5-6, biggest lead, 3 points. Kreback yet to shoot. Takes his first shot. A good foul call.
Foul's going to be on Carfino. He did an heck of a job defensively so far. He kept Kreback from even getting a shot off. Here we'll see the play right here. Good move, crossover dribble, little push off with the left hand way before the shot was taken.
And before the foul shot will be taken, we'll take a timeout. We've got 15:44 to go in the Special Events Center on the campus of the University of Texas at Austin. Two conference leaders. And Southern Cal's got the upper hand at the moment, leading 9-6. And we'll come back with the first half in just a moment. Texas, to those of you watching Notre Dame and South Carolina, it is 9-6 Southern California. Johnny Moore of Texas from the side now has his 6 points. And it is 9-8 Southern Cal with the basketball now, darker uniforms, led by as much as 3. That's been the biggest margin we've had. Carfino, is Purvis Miller, is Maurice Williams. The low post is Cliff Freetop Robinson. Carfino tries to get it inside, knocked away by Branyan, and picked up by Johnny Moore. Our own Branyan, Kreback. From outside.
Incredible shot. I don't think that Jimmy Kreback's intended to shoot that off the board. He just had to release it. One of those luck shots, but he's such a great pure shooter that every once in a while the good shooters get a lot of luck.
Texas 10-9. You'll notice Texas is not pressing here. Abe Lemon said he asked him to zone press one time, and they came back and said one of the players said he was hurt and didn't want to. Abe said go out and do it anyway, and the player came back with a message. He said he'll try, but can't promise anything. So he just gave it up.
This is zone defense, but it really has man-to-man principles, so that you'll see Southern Cal probably play almost like man-to-man tendencies on offense.
Carfino drops it through after Miller misses the basket.
Billy, it only has man-to-man principles on the ball. Off the ball, they play zone, I think.
Trojans by 1.
Kreback.
The way it was explained to us, Al, was they play man-to-man on the ball and zone away from the ball.
One of the most important things about this game is what happens. Abe is running a 4-man offense. Phil Stroud is playing just back near half court. I'm surprised when Cliff Robinson comes out on him. I don't think that Phil Stroud has the tools, the offensive tools, to do anything against the USC.
Tyrone Branyan with the basketball, now Johnny Moore. Branyan with that from the belt buckle shot of his, picked up by Purvis Miller. 11-10 the Trojans. Look at Robinson from outside. Misses that ball. Branyan comes down with it. First time that Texas has been on national television. Their NIT appearance last year as Branyan was seen by much of the nation, and Southern Cal hasn't been on national television since 1974. Underneath, Purvis Miller knocked away. Charging call against Dean Jones.
Good call by the official. Needed to pull up a little bit quicker than Jones. We're seeing Southern Cal go a little bit of zone on their own, and that time down the court, even though we have a situation where Cliff Robinson's a good outside shooter, they need to stay with their offense a little bit more, and he needs to get inside because he can really be valuable there.
That was not a good shot he took to the top of the key before in that break, Billy.
Right.
Three backs being held down by Carfino. Doing a good defensive job on it.
Baxter really hasn't gotten the ball inside much. That's kind of surprising because he's a man who can really operate with it.
Into Stroud. Stroud trying to get on Robinson.
I think he surprised Robinson with his ability to use that left hand on the other side of the basket. There you see Robinson down low now. And I'm sure that Bob Boyd wants him in there. There he is.
By one. Robinson. Robinson will have another shot. No good. Miller. Nervous Miller. 13-12 Southern Cal. Be aware that Texas has never lost in the Special Events Center. 21 games, they've won them all.
Al, it's really a dominating Southern Cal team when they can get that ball down and low to Robinson, particularly as small as Texas is.
Yeah, Texas has to be careful in the transition game.
Good solid screen.
Three backs feeds into Stroud, who goes up and puts it in. Two straight baskets for Stroud.
Jim, that's what I was talking about before. When you set a solid screen on a man like three backs, if you're going to switch automatically, that's going to allow the pick and roll inside. That time Stroud worked it beautifully.
Maurice Williams making a start today over Barry Brooks. Into the corner. Well, there's Carfino, and he down 6 points.
Can't let Carfino shoot. He plays off Dean Jones. As Dean Jones penetrates, you kick off to Carfino.
Branyan off the iron. Carfino.
Here it comes again right now.
Oh, good defense by Moore.
Williams is walking. One of the rare turnovers of the first 8 minutes of the ball game. Bob Boyd, head coach, USC. Horn blows. One of the officials say we have a timeout. We're at Austin, Texas, 11:56 to go. We're in the first half. Texas, 10-4. Southern Cal, 10-4. And there's only a point between them. Kick it off at the Orange Bowl of Miami, the Super Bowl 13, Pittsburgh and Dallas. And before all that starts, at 9 o'clock tonight, they've got the Super Bowl Saturday night, hosted by O.J. Simpson, joined by Ted Knight. Remember Ted Baxter? Bob Hope will be there, Gary Coleman. 9 to 11 tonight. A lot of fun as we look ahead to the Super Bowl.
Zone defense by Southern Cal. It's the first time they've run it when they weren't on an out-of-bounds situation. And look at Moore.
Oh, Johnny Moore's got 8 points.
He's looking for the shot. Shoots very well in a standstill position without the dribble. It's a hard thing to do. Baxter out of the game. Shepard in.
That's the ball. Just went off Shepard's hand. 44 is his number. Johnny Moore. There's Shepard. Three backs. Takes the shot high. Arches it. No good. Levis Miller has the rebound and starts the fast break. Carfino off the edge. Right back to three backs.
Texas better pull up. They cannot do this with USC. They'll get thrown out of here. They got to go slow.
Johnny Moore apparently trying to slow it down a little bit.
Here's an unusual offensive set against the zone of 1-4, and of course with this outside shooting, Reebacks is having to throw the ball over some trees all along. He hasn't had the natural shot out.
They're making him shoot a little bit higher than his normal trajectory.
And that's what Abe's telling him. He said, hey, take your time, we'll get the shot. Jim Baxter's out of the game. I think the reason for it is not the injury, but defensively in their matchup zone, he was not being aware that they were sending Carfino in behind him, and Abe Lemons just sat him over there, gave him a little talking to.
Three back. Halftime, we've got a special visit between Al McGuire, the sometime bartender, and Abe Lemons. Stroud has it knocked away, but they're going to get goaltending. Charged against Robinson. Philip Stroud now has 6 points. And Texas has its biggest lead, 3 points. The biggest Southern Cal has had, 3 points.
Southern Cal's gotten away from their offense. They were doing very well when it was going into Robinson inside.
Barry Brooks back into the ball game. Number 14. And Williams is out. Intercepted by Shepard.
He sent him a telegraph message on that pass, Al.
Dean Jones wasn't getting up to the defensive man. You must get up to the defensive man to be able to pass properly.
Reebacks has not had the good shot all day. Johnny Moore's taken up the scoring slack. Now Krivak is loose for his first shot. And you let him loose, and that's what happened.
Automatic if he's going to be left open from there. Bob Boyd needs a timeout and takes one.
Bob Boyd is hot. They got Krivak loose, and when you get Jimmy Krivak loose, he's going to score. 10:05 to go. Texas now with the biggest lead of the game for either team. Texas 20, USC 15. You watch Super Bowl Saturday night. Stay with us at 11:30 Eastern Time, 10:30 Central Time. The Vitalis U.S. Olympic Invitational Track and Field Meet. And Skeets Nehemiah, they call him, Ronaldo, tied a record for the 60 last night in the hurdles, and will try to better that tonight. We'll see it here on NBC. 9:55 to go. Texas up by 5. Arfino on the far side. Purvis Miller.
Here you're seeing a lot of movement by Southern Cal on their offense.
Underneath his Brooks has to bring the ball out again. Now to Miller, who's in the low post, bumbles the ball away, and there's yet another turnover. Southern Cal has not had the good hand.
Al, that matchup zone causing some problems.
They're not reading it right, Southern Cal. It's a 2-3 matchup zone. The ball is being played by man-to-man. The other four are played in the zone. They holler and bump as they go through. Sometimes they take the man through if he's an offensive threat. At no time are there two men on one man. It is like a configuration zone.
Harold Brannion throws the ball into Johnny Moore. Brannion has played on a high school championship team, a junior college championship team, and now a college championship team. Moore, who's been hot, is not hot this time. Robinson goes up, and in quickly is Neil Arnold, number 10. Carfino now has 8 points.
That's a good pull-up by Carfino. He's been hot in the last few basketball games and a good, solid ball player.
Neil Arnold, number 10, has come in at guard. And out has gone Dean Jones, who's had a little problem.
He has in ball handling, and primarily against that matchup. He hasn't recognized very well. Southern Cal, last time down the court, started to get total movement against him.
There's the zone. There's Johnny Moore trying to crack it. Stroud goes up, almost out-jumped Treetop Robinson, but not quite. Terry Brooks down. Shepard on him. Ball knocked away by Johnny Moore.
USC has to have a little more patience against this matchup zone. Surprisingly, when Texas is attacking USC zone, they put 4 men around the perimeter. They have such good shooters, they think they can win from the outside, which I doubt.
Neil Arnold operating now has had a bad ankle. Suffered against Arizona State. They listed him as questionable, today probable, and he's in there. There's Purvis Miller, and the ball goes to Shepard.
That's a good range shot for Miller, although he's not a great shooter. He's a guy that from that range ought to be able to hit it.
He put it up good, Billy. Just
yes, he did. Got to point out Steve Smith is not with the club. He's got a back injury, so that really cuts down on the backcourt plans of Bob Boyd.
Second leading scorer on the team. They get the ball into Brannion, who's underneath, and look at that move.
He's not pretty, Al, but he gets the job done.
I want to tell you, Tyrone Brannion doesn't have a lot of ability. All he does is feature.
That's right.
Texas by 5.
The defense is really causing some problems.
Brooks takes his first shot. Ball hits the top of the backboard, belongs to Texas.
I want to point out that the top of the backboard is still in play. It's once it goes over the top of the backboard that the official wisely called it out.
Well, as they bring it down and Abe Lemons talk, let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
NBC for Austin, Channel 36.
Jim Simpson, Billy Packer, Al McGuire, Jimmy Krivak's taking the shot. Rebounded in there by Maurice Williams. Arpino, and backing into Robinson is Philip Stroud.
He knew it. There's a case that Stroud turned his back because he assumed the shot was going up. Really not a good defensive technique, and a lot of times when you don't have good technique, you get in trouble. There he is. He gets confused, thinks the shot's going up. He's getting ready for block-out position, and he's kind of fortunate that he committed the foul.
Williams, no good. Miller, reaching over the back is Dave Shepard. 2 quick personals against Texas.
I think that USC has to get a little bit more patient. They're trying to jam that ball into the low post, and I think if they swing it around to the weak side, that they'll be able to drop it in very easily.
4 team fouls against both teams at the moment. No danger going to the 1-and-1. Arpino, who's been hot, is not there. Johnny Moore knocks it away, picked down by Purvis Miller. Miller, I believe, is going to be called with double dribble. Or walking, one of the two. Put the ball on the floor twice.
Right, he did. Miller was in a great position because he had John Moore on him there on that out-of-bounds situation, but he just wasn't patient enough, and that's been their big problem.
Texas by 5. Southern Cal's biggest lead was 3. We've got 7 minutes left first half. These conference leaders. Freeback's having a tough time. Only once has he been free. Dropped it in, and now Shepard from outside. First points for Dave Shepard, the sophomore out of Los Angeles.
Excellent perimeter shooting team. One of the things Freebacks is doing is going back down to the corner where he's being guarded by Robinson. He'd be better off being on the other side to get the shot off.
Robinson shoots, no good. Brandon, it's a 7-point lead for Texas, their biggest.
Branyan doing a workmanlike job on the board.
There's Branyan taking the shot away. He shoots them so low that even I could block him.
Yeah, as I said, he's not pretty, but he doesn't do anything but what Al said, beat you.
Yeah, he looks like he's drawing a gun out when he goes to shoot.
Freeback's looking again for that open shot. Texas does a lot of recruiting in Los Angeles. They're playing Southern Cal. There's Branyan with that shot. It's not going to make it. Purvis Miller has the rebound.
Miller got away with a push-off that time.
He's got the shot from out there and drops it through. That is Robinson. And Cliff now has 7 points. 24-19. A little less than 6 minutes to go. They sell out here at the Special Event Center. 15,000 season tickets sold. Johnny Miller fouled by Neil Arnold. That'll be the 5th team foul.
Then we're going to see the solid screen, well set by Shepard. Excellent reverse dribble that time, and we'll see the foul coming up right here. No question about the chop down over the arm by Neil Arnold.
Branyan throws it in. Freebacks. Ball knocked away. Picked up by Stroud well outside.
That's what Al was talking about. Stroud is playing 30 feet from the basket. They want to play it 4-on-5, of course, against a zone now, not as effective a man-to-man, but they try to isolate.
Freebacks. That's somewhat of a shot. He's got it.
If he's free, he probably will shoot around 80%. He's just staying up shooting. You know, he doesn't go off a pass or off a step.
7-point lead, Texas. Williams goes in, no good. There's Stroud getting the ball to Moore. Freebacks driving by Arnold.
Marfino might have hurt his hand.
Points for Freebacks, 28-19, 9-point lead.
They just don't have enough patience against this combination zone or matchup zone.
Ball just knocked off the hands of Freebacks.
We'll see Carfino run his hand right up through the rim here. He's very fortunate, didn't have a serious injury. There he is, going right up through the rim. And of course, a great shot by Freebacks.
That could have been a technical foul.
Carfino getting the ball over to Miller. Out to Arnold.
Their ball handling is certainly being frazzled right at this point. The zone is well executed, giving them a lot of trouble.
Miller drops it through. Purvis Miller now has 4 points. Georgetown beat Pennsylvania 78-76 today. Alabama took Auburn 83-76. And Indiana over Northwestern 74-45. Northwestern had 15 points in the first half. Some other scores.
Back to man-to-man now.
Freebacks, Moore open for the moment.
Moore is a solid ball player. Good fakes with the ball.
Stroud's going to force a shot. That's a good one. 8 points for Philip Stroud, whereas Cliff Robinson has 7.
That was an unbelievable shot.
Well, there's a case where you have Robinson with 7, but if his man's got 8 in this type of ball game, that's the difference in the score right now. 9 points up there, and you can't expect Robinson to be outscored in the post.
3:45 left in the first half.
Oh, they missed Robinson.
Outside is Williams, has his first point.
He needed that. As a freshman, you got to get your first basket, then get out of the gate.
Tell you what, Al, Abe Lemons didn't put Bob Boyd to sleep today.
Now,
he's awake. Shepard.
Freebacks is wide open over here. Carfino trying to help out.
But takes the shot high, drops it through. Oh, he can score. 10 points for Jimmy Freeback.
he cleaned out with his inside arm that time as he went up, Billy, but he really can tattoo that rim.
He's a very intense player. He like the old timers out there.
Well, Miller,
that's not his shot.
Boy, Freeback tightrope. Freebacks has already been drafted by the pros. He was out for a year at Kansas City. Drafted him. He is a pure shooter. 32-23 Texas. Texas has gotten things together after a slow start this year. And not any time too soon. They've got A&M on Monday night. Right, conference battle. Backs. Arpino drives it past it. No good. Oh, they're just out hustling Southern California. Now they throw it away.
USC is lacking pursuit on rebounds. If you'll notice, Bill, they all seem to be standing around.
One guy makes the big effort, and everybody stands and watches.
2:21 to go. We're in the first half. And Southern California trails Texas 32-23. Time, 9:30 Pacific time, Sports World as we lead to the Super Bowl. And then a 2-hour special Super Sunday. Happy anniversary to that great Baltimore-New York Jet game. Behind the scenes of Super Sunday. Super flashbacks. And of course at 4 o'clock Eastern time, they put it all on the money. And it's Pittsburgh and Dallas in Super Bowl 13. Al and Billy and I will pick an MVP, and $1,000 will go to that school. Arpino from outside, no good, and look who's under the basket. Nothing but Texas folks.
And they're blocking out beautifully out of the zone situation there, and Southern Cal's really not going to the boards. They give one effort for a rebound, and nobody else follows in, particularly in the perimeter rebounds.
Southern Cal is shooting 37% thus far. Texas better than 53%. Offensive foul on Stroud.
Well, Whitfeld was really pushing off, and he was fortunate to get away with that. We're going to have Robinson sitting down. Whitfeld, who's done a fine job coming in subbing, in the ball game now.
1:50 to go. Doug Whitfeld, a junior who is giving Cliff Robinson, not having a great afternoon, a refresh. Jones is also back in, and Arnold has gone out at guard. That's Jones with the basketball. Williams. Miller's done an outstanding job today. Jones is going to take one of his rare shots, but it's a good one.
That time they cleared out the baseline. They got the zone overloaded and got a free shot. If they be a little bit more patient, they'll close the gap here.
Johnny Moore, foul as he went by. That's Jones who reached in and got him.
Johnny Moore is a fine floor general in the alley. He has a lot of patience out there. Seems like he's totally in control of the ball game.
Yeah, well, I think he's the best all-around player on Texas, and I think he has an outside shot at becoming a pro.
6 team fouls now on USC. Texas has 5. 7's the magic number for the 1-and-1. Johnny Moore
trying to get. Now there's where they had the switch. They had
Banyan free. Tyrone Banyan with 6 points. Again a 9-point lead with 1 minute and 3 seconds left in the half.
He has an unusual shot, doesn't he, Jim?
Oh, that's it. He comes from his belt buckle. Never gets the ball up.
Tyrone, he's slow, he can't jump, but he's very clever.
Arpino directing traffic. He's had some good games lately. Now Jones, another shot. There's Ranyon, and the ball goes out off the hands of Whitfeld. 45 seconds left. A lot of good athletes on this Southern Cal squad. You can believe that. Texas, not a big team at all. Not a quick team necessarily. But Abe Lemons is in charge. He took him all the way to the NIT title last year.
Good Stroud all the way here. He's 35 feet from the basket, just helping set up.
Well, USC's a very young team. They're mainly freshmen and sophomores.
Ranyon.
Baxter.
That's the Sherman tank.
That's his first 2, and that's surprising. He's had kind of a rough afternoon.
Biggest lead, 11 points.
If we get a close-up of Baxter, he looks a lot like Roy Campanella.
Jones with 8 seconds. Purvis Miller 6 seconds. Takes the shot. It is in and out. No good. Followed up by Williams.
Oh, the only
on Whitfeld at the end of the half.
It'll be 1-and-1, Jim, and that's the only thing that you could do wrong at that point. The half was ended, and you give up another 2 points.
Baxter's going down to the other end of the court to take the foul shot at the end of the half.
Since 1908.
Sin when he fouled Ron Baxter for the 7th team foul of the half, and Baxter stepped to the line and sank both of them. He now has 4 points, but more importantly, Texas now has 38 points. 38-25 at the half, Texas over USC. The Pro Kids College basketball report coming up. But right now, we'll pause for these messages from your local station. think, Al McGuire, that you'll get upset if I call you a character. There are a lot of characters in basketball coaching, but across the floor from us today is a friend of yours and almost as big a character as you are, Abe Lemons.
Well, he's the Will Rogers of the basketball coaches. One time he was down coaching at Pan American. He said he's not going to play any more northern schools like Houston. I had a conversation with Coach Bob Boyd about Abe Lemons, and we're going to show it at the halftime. But what is your opinion of Abe?
I don't even like to be around him.
He puts you to sleep before a game.
Well, you know, you're around him, and I just don't want him to use me. I don't want to be a straight man. I told him every time I see him, I said, no, listen, Abram. I don't want to be your straight man. I saw him out here in San Diego, California, this summer at the All-Star game. I said, what are you doing here? Well, he started using me. You know, there's a crowd around. I said, walk away. It's Abram again. I love the guy. I think he's a great coach.
Hey, bartender. Give me something a veteran to drink.
Okay. He's about as tall as your guards are, Coach.
You used to be Al McGuire.
I'm kind of moonlighting, Abe. I'm trying to pick up a couple extra dollars.
Well, it's a step up from coaching anyway. You got any tips for a veteran?
Well, let me put my coat on. I'll come around and talk a little basketball.
I could sure use some help.
Okay, Abe.
Your ball players, do you feel last year that you kind of moved them uptown? I know you won the NIT, National Invitation Tournament. Do you think they're ready to take a good shot at the NCAA this year?
Well, I don't know. We're really not that big. We play, we try to think the game and play the game. We're not where we want to be, not by a long shot. You know, Al, when you used to be an independent, you'd go in, people play you, but they didn't hate you. In a conference, when you go in, the bottom team plays like it's a national championship. They'll chew the number off your shirt. Not only the players, but the fans. It's tough just getting in and out. You almost have to have a security guard to get in and out. And this is new to me. You know, we used to waltz in. Right now, we'd be playing Drano Tech if I was with an independent school, and now then we got to play a guy that hates us. And it's tough. It's a different ballgame.
This is your first experience, because you put about 20-some-odd years in Oklahoma City and about 4 or 5 in Pan American. It didn't have football programs. Does the football program annoy you, or is it an asset or liability?
Well, maybe all of those. I don't know. But what happens, Texas football's always won, and they make everyone mad. We go to Arkansas the other day, and I said, why do you hate us? And he said, because your football's always winning. And I said, well, I'm going to let Darryl and Fred come over here next year and play you guys, But see, football agitates people, and we come in right after, and they try to take it out on us. So I hope we can agitate them with basketball, too, and then they'll get mad at football.
Do you have 3 referees in your conferences?
Well,
Do you use
sometime we have 3. There's 3 out there. Sometimes we just have 2. Sometimes we just have 1. But, they're out there. They're in their position. It's really harder to see on the floor than it is in the stands. I'm not for sure you ought not to put one up there, because I can see better in the stands. And it's funny, when you're not playing, the game is better officiated. I watched SMU and Texas A&M. I thought the game was well officiated, but neither one of the coaches did. It's funny how you get a different view when you're not involved.
You know, I always known you real well, Abe. We traveled Europe together and so on. Is that it seems to me that you put most of the coaches to sleep. And,
well, when you're not real strong, you gotta throw out some things to get them off of you, because keep them unaware. Coaching to me is just coaching. I don't think y'all run around beating the drum. I don't write any books about it. Been here 30 years, don't even have a pamphlet out on the game, because I don't know whether I know that much or not.
well, I think that you probably learned the key to coaching, which is keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, and let me tell you, that's harder to do than you think. It's really hard to do. It's something that's very difficult to keep something simple, because next thing you know, you're reading a book. Every time I read a book or go to a clinic, I just mess up, because I'm trying to do some things I don't know anything about.
Buddy, you going to buy a drink for a change?
Well, you ought to get one for an old soldier, but you got to remember that you're the bartender, and there is such a thing as having one on the house.
Get up some money. I'll get the drink.
All right, letters. We know he spells his name with one M, but when they put the film back together in New York, somebody figured that Abe could not be that kind of lemon. He had to have 2 M's. Whatever. You look more natural to me as a bartender than as a coach.
Well, I was 6 years a bartender, but one time over in Europe, Abe and I were touring through Germany. It was at Wiesbaden. It was during Oktoberfest. And there was a lot of drinking and eating going on with the German people. And Abe says to me, you know, Al, during the last war, they bombed the ammunition depots and the train depots. If they would have bombed the bakeries and the breweries, the war would have ended 3 years earlier.
Can I tell you a statement? He said, talking about being a bartender, one of your statements is what you need is a college degree, drive a cab for 6 months, 10 bar for 6 months, then you're educated. That's what Al McGuire said. We've got some more to talk about, especially Bob Boyd, who has resigned as head coach of Southern California effective the end of the season. We'll talk about that in just a moment. Would you say that has anything at all to do with the way Southern Cal's playing today?
I don't think they're on top of the game today. They might come out the second half and be a little bit more intense. Last week when I was out of L.A., I visited Coach Bob, and I didn't know until I got back home, was surprised to read that he has resigned. It's a very difficult thing because he just had 2 great recruiting years of freshman, maybe the best back-to-back recruiting years in college basketball. I think what the problem is that UCLA has had such success over the year that probably the alumni and so on at USC are a little bit upset. But that's not the story. The last 15 years, UCLA beat everyone. I truly believe that Bob is ending a 5-year contract. All he wants to do is talk to the administration and get some type of guarantee that they will rehire him. Coaches aren't animals. They should be given a fair chance.
Let me give you 2 questions before we get out of here. Number 1, do you think there's a possibility he might remain at USC?
I hope that everyone kind of opens the window, lets some fresh air in, and they look at each other and talk head to head.
Number 2, the rumors are that one of those considered is Al McGuire.
No way. No way.
All right, on that.
1 million BC.
We will wind up. That's our Pro Kids basketball report for today. And, of course, next week we not have 1 but 2 because we've got national games on both Saturday and Sunday.
The race for the 1980 Olympics.
Texas to follow shortly. Texas has got the big 13-point lead. The second half from Austin, Texas after this pause for these messages from your local station.
It's college chaos.
Lost here. And you would think that they would have a tough time with Southern Cal today. They may yet have Billy Packer, but at the moment, it's Texas up by 13.
Well, the Southwest Conference has to be very proud of this basketball team out here. Jim, I think the real key thing is that Southern Cal is not playing well offensively at all. They only shot 34%. Their shot selection was bad, and they never really did get into their offense. You see some stats right up there on the board. And here you have Texas losing the first half tip, so therefore they get the ball out to start the second.
Al McGuire loves it.
It's like after a timeout, I think you take an awful lot of tradition out of basketball.
Baxter's 12, more the ball now. 0-0. Stroud 30. Branyan with the ball, taking the shot 31. And Branyan now has 8 points.
And now you see it, now you don't. Right in your face, fella. He's amazing how he gets that shot off.
Dean Jones 12. Miller 45. Garfino with the ball now 24.
Here's a new tactic by Southern Cal. They went to a triple stack trying to free something up inside and did.
Purvis Miller dropped it through and now has 6 points.
USC will take its time trying to get inside. They can give Texas an awful lot of trouble.
40-27. Three backs, driving, underhanded, no good, and Robinson there for the rebound. Robinson did not have a good first half by his stand. Miller,
great block.
And the ball belongs to Texas.
Boy, Philip Stroud is having a super basketball game, both offensively and defensively. Here he comes in. Purvis Miller had an easy layup. Great block by Stroud. The ball goes off Southern Cal foot, and it's Texas ball.
Brandon gives it a little behind the back there, the big man.
And almost hit it off the back of his foot, but it worked out anyway.
Everything's working for Texas thus far. On Baxter. And Al McGuire says about Baxter, takes up so much room on the court. He's so bulky. Johnny Moore.
He's only 6'4", but his body makes him about 6'7". Here he
Look at him loose at the baseline.
Now Southern Cal went back to man-to-man. How you'd let a guy like Baxter alone, you never know, but he's not hard to find out there, like Omar the tent maker.
The kids call him Chubby.
15-point difference. That's the biggest of the day. Almost an interception by Moore. He does knock it away, and now trying to start the fast break. The ball is thrown away. It's recovered by Southern California.
That wasn't a bad pass. It's just that Moore kind of got tripped up a little bit.
Outside, number 20, Maurice Williams now has 4 points.
Maurice can fill it up if you leave him alone.
Bob Boyd on his feet on the far sideline. Tell him to get with it.
Well, they're pressing without guard and Stroud. Be honest with you, he's always open, Jim, so that takes away the effort of all the other players.
Purvis Miller has been showing me the biggest effort of anybody on the Southern Cal squad. He just knocked that ball out of bounds.
And, of course, they zone out of bounds.
Ranyon tries to get the ball inside. Bad pass right there to knock it away. Was Miller again.
Just as you pointed out, Jim, Miller is hustling.
And again, number 20, Maurice Williams. 4 points for him in a row, and all of a sudden it's 11. Difference. The crowd here gets a little apprehensive.
And there's again, see, you have Stroud with nobody guarding him. He's always an outlet pass, so it's not much sense to press 4 men and leave one guy wide open who can always handle the ball.
Good point, Billy.
Three backs, very high.
Rainbow.
12 points.
That one came down wet.
44-31. Martino, a starter only lately, but he's done a good job. Jones, well, he's going to try it again and knock it through again. That's 3 straight for Maurice Mo Williams.
Vice Chairman, let me ask you, they started out the second half by playing that triple stack, and it looks like it's opening up some people for some shots.
Underneath, they have to get inside against Texas, especially against that zone. Abe keeps blocking up that middle every chance he can.
Nice pass.
3 backs has it knocked away by Williams. Purvis Miller calls the play, and one of the officials agrees with it.
Jim, I think we're seeing a situation right now where the game is kind of getting away from Texas a little bit. A little momentum swing here, and the better athletes that Southern Cal have are starting to go ahead and take advantage of the situation.
They're down by 15, now they're down by 11. Here's Purvis Miller again, trying to make it a little bit better, and he does, and he has 4 points in this half, 8 altogether, and now there's a 9-point difference with 16 and a half minutes to go.
There was a case where Robinson came back and played a little defense and made that press much more effective.
Texas kids keep moving up from the back and giving you blind picks or blind screens.
Foul is called. I believe it is on Carfino.
No,
Let's see if it is. Nope, it's on Miller.
he reached around Jimmy that time.
That's his first. Abe Lemons.
I'm kind of surprised that they haven't used Baxter down low a little bit more, Al, because he hasn't handled the ball much down inside. That's where he's so effective.
Well, there's not a mismatch because the man that's guarding is 6'7".
Well, McGuire, you're always calling it to take time out. Abe Lemons, you didn't say it this time, but Abe Lemons has taken one because his team has fallen behind a little bit. Middle, and the fellow with the cap and the glasses on the right side is Darrell Royals, former great football coach here at Texas, now the athletic director. Well, it showed us a little fun with some Mexican food and country music last night, Billy.
I thought Bear Bryant said you should never wear a hat inside.
Darrell Royals, top hand.
I tell you what he told me last night. I said, do I need a tie where we're going? He said, you got to be a tough seller. We got to wear a tie where we're going.
In other words, the tie gets you in trouble.
That's right.
He said I was right. I had a motorbike jacket on.
Ron Baxter. In the first half, Southern Cal shot a little bit better than 34%. Thus far in the second half, they're shooting better than 83%. Three-backs with a very high, but this one is short.
Oh, that's some call on the inside. Garfino had excellent position that time. And you see Abe kind of sat there and didn't argue with that one. Here you see the shot. And there was a case. Krivax was really out of position. Garfino's the guy who was catching the ball. Baxter did a good acting job there and got away with one.
USC's zone round bound balls underneath.
There's Baxter inside. And he's patient. That's one good thing about him. You know, if he gets it in there and realizes he doesn't have it, gets it back out again.
Now Texas is going to start being a little bit more patient. As you said, they let things get away from them a little while. The Freebacks can hit from there and does. That's 14 points for Jimmy.
You know, against Texas Christian, he hit 10 for 10, and none was closer than 18 feet.
Now Robinson kind of took his time getting out there on him, and that's a big mistake.
11-point difference. Williams has been hot and is hot. That's 8 points in this half for Maurice Mo Williams.
That's 4 in a row.
Texas tried to break a man long and picked up well by Purvis Miller, who's playing a solid game out there.
Difference was 15, is now 9. Ranyon. Leads it into Stroud. Has it knocked away by Robinson. Williams comes down with it, and Jones will bring it up, losing it off his foot. 2-on-1. And the ball is knocked away by Jones. Good save there. Brannion takes the shot from the side. Tyrone pushes Oklahoma.
You know, the fellas on Texas here, none of them look like basketball players. Maybe Moore looks like a basketball player. The rest of them look like they got underwear hanging out of their shorts. You know, and two-hand dribbling.
You said it, Coach. I didn't. Jones gets it inside to Miller. He's going to force the shot if he can and does not get away with a foul. That's Phil Stroud, and I believe that's going to be number 3 on Stroud.
That'd really be tough. Now here you see Purvis Miller going in. Moore reached back in. We'll see who the foul's called on. It really should have been on Moore. He's the guy that reached his hand in there and ripped the ball away.
Miller at the line for the first time. He has 8 points. Gets 2 shots. Miller does not have a bundle of points to his credit. That is just 9, but he has made the rebounding, the deflections. He has hustled.
Jim, let me ask you, that foul, was it on Stroud or was it on Moore?
It was Stroud who raised his hand, Billy.
It was? Well, that'd be a key when he should keep his hand down. They had Brannion wide open.
Revax gets it underneath to Brannion. He gets it up. And the basket counts.
Good dish that time by Krevax. Brannion was wide open. Hadn't been picked up at all. There's the pass inside. Robinson goes up too early, and Brannion kind of pump fakes his way in there and gets the shot off. Really have to credit this fella. He just plays well within his limits. Everything he does on the court seems to be positive, Al.
Well, he is the leading scorer and rebounder for Texas. Not for today, but for the entire season. 1 shot. First 3-point play opportunity we've had all day long, and Brannion naturally does it. And now has 13 points. And it's a 12-point lead. 14 minutes, however, left to play.
Jim, one thing to point out about Brannion, he's been a winner at every level of competition, and those kind of guys somehow keep winning.
Arpino off the far side. Baxter goes up for it. Russell's for it. Moore now. Robinson got away with something there as he reached in. And now it looks like Williams may be called. It's Williams who's called.
Somebody has to dive for the ball on the floor. The ball's down there, you got to go for it. I don't care if you're a superstar or who you are.
Al, I think you really hit it on the head there. It seems that every time the ball goes up and there's a perimeter rebound, Southern Cal players are running away from the ball instead of coming back to it.
4 team fouls now, and there's Carpino. That was almost a move of frustration right there.
Well, he tried to go a long way for the steal. This is a tough sideline out of bounds play right here. Of course, Stroud comes back. Has the easy outlet pass.
Texas has never lost here. They won straight games. Revax is loose, and that's what you know what that is.
That's a great shot because he was actually off balance and really went up only off of 1 foot and still had a good release.
He's a pure shooter, not like Grant Holland from UCLA.
16 points, Revax, 14-point lead, Texas. Robinson has been negated. He's got 7 points in the entire game.
He hadn't touched the ball much in the second half. There he's open. But look at the
tries to beat it, gives it right to Brannion, gets it right back. Foul call on Brannion. First foul on Tyrone Brannion. Second team foul against Texas.
Al, you like to talk about timeouts, and there was a case just a while ago where we could feel the momentum swinging to Southern Cal. Abe took the timeout, and now it seems like he's got the game back in control again.
He made a very clever move by calling that timeout, not waiting for the commercial timeout. Too many coaches wait for it, and they can blow the game at that particular moment. He's not a spectator. He's a coach, Abe Williams.
Billy Brooks is in. He has just come in. He's a forward, and we're going out with Carpino. And look at Robinson get up there. Look at him get up there.
That was a rebound.
53-41, 12:45 left. Moore down the far side.
Brooks stayed with him pretty well there.
Brannion with that shot again.
And a foul on Purvis Miller. Miller's kind of getting annoyed with him, saying, you know, you're not going to get that shot off another time on me. And he puts it right in his face every time.
Miller's picked up his 3rd personal foul, and here's the arrow that Al McGuire loves to talk about.
Well, the way the arrow is pointing, the next jump ball, the ball goes that way. And there's two conferences that work this year. That's the ACC, the Atlantic Coast Conference, and obviously where we are.
I think the Sun Belt's using it too, Al. I'm not sure about that.
Brandon with 2 shots. Abe Lemon's talking to Al McGuire at halftime today, saying that when he was an independent, as Al was at Marquette, he said, I'd be playing Drano Tech now, not teams that hate me.
You know, in fairness to Southern Cal's ball club and their record, even though they're on top of the Pac-10, they might have had the toughest December of any team in the United States.
But they have a suicide schedule.
Well, I tell you, the Texas people might disagree with you. They were home 6 days in 22, and 6 or 7 games on the road between December 26th and January 16th. Moore reached in, didn't get it. Brooks has got an easy shot from there, but does not get it, and Baxter starts to break. Here's Krivak down the far side, covering up as Jones, and the basket is good. 8 in this half, 18 altogether for Krivak. 57-41, a 16-point lead, the biggest of the day.
There's a lot of time left, Bob. Get hit with a timeout here and get them reorganized.
That was a great rebound by Baxter, where he used his body and upper body control to head that fast breakout.
That's what I was talking about. All that body mass he has to block you out. Jones fakes. Ball knocked away. Hold it. They'll come down with somebody that got a foul.
Baxter knew it wasn't his. It's going to be on John Moore. We see the play here. Baxter actually gets the ball right here. We'll see him come down. Boom, he hits the ball. He's so powerful, and they caught Moore reaching on in.
I think one of the problems today with USC is that Texas knows who their stars are. I don't think USC understands who their stars are.
11:45 to go. Texas out in front of Southern California. Would you believe it? 57-41.
Let us show you the lengths Texas.
Says Dallas to win the Super Bowl tomorrow. Director Harry Cole says Pittsburgh to win the Super Bowl tomorrow. Al McGuire, who do you think is going to win a Super Bowl tomorrow?
Pittsburgh, big.
Pittsburgh, big. How about you, Billy Packer?
I don't know about that football. I'll pass.
Oh, come on. Everybody else is in it. Pick
I'm often wrong, never in doubt. I don't know.
I'll go with Pittsburgh, so we got it 3-1.
Oh, then Moore through the charge. Great play by Moore, and there's what Al was talking about. Lack of concentration out there. Robinson just was walking across the court. Moore jumped in front, drew the charge.
And I said earlier before the commercial about knowing the stars. Excuse me, go take it.
Here we'll see. Now, you see Robinson running across the court. Moore moves over there. Now, no excuse for not having enough concentration. The guy was right in front of him.
Moore leading a fast break. 2 men on him.
Oh, beautiful.
Great play by Moore. 10 points. Ratkovic is coming as the guard, and Jones is out. Ratkovic with the ball, 22, passing to Robinson, whose shot is short, and there's that man Moore again. The 3rd time he's handled the ball. To Baxter, knocked away by Carfino. And here they come again. There's Ratkovic. And Whitfield from the side, in and out, and a foul. Rebound. They've now gone for the first time to 2 big men, Whitfield and Robinson, both in the lineup at the same time. And Ratkovic in backcourt.
Ratkovic is one of the better outside shooters. Watch him to be a zone breaker.
Now they make that automatic switch, so they've got Carfino down inside playing a post area, and there's a man wide open.
Ranyon
Had to happen.
11 points this half, 17 altogether, and a 20-point lead for Texas.
All right, there's 10:40 left, Billy. It looks like a blowout. But there's time if UCLA get themselves together. They need a basket.
Let's make it Southern Cal.
Southern Cal, I'm sorry.
Robinson missed the easy shot inside, goes up again, and is fouled.
Look at Abe is saying, you got to be crazy. My guys are falling all over the place. Winfeld did a good job here battling his way inside. Now there's Robinson trying to get the shot off. Winfeld stays right with it, gets a shot in the head, passes it back. Boy went out of the line. Nice camera work, fellas. And there's Robinson getting hit on the arm.
Notice that there's no USC players under the basket. They're all backcourt.
Jim, I want to make another point there. What a smart team Texas is. Now they had a case right before where there was an automatic switch. And Branyon felt it. He went inside, had a little guard on him, and Texas found him with the open shot, made it.
They don't have any drills at all. They had a man loose down here, but didn't get the ball to him on the foul call. Abe Lemons, when he practices, Billy, I'm sure you know this, they just scrimmage. There's no drills, no nothing. They just run back and forth, play their little game, shirts and skins almost, leave the ballpark. There's Abe.
Sometimes I wonder if he doesn't put on special things that people watch.
Hey, Jim, I think he's putting you to sleep like he does most coaches.
That's just like, guy said he didn't even come to the practice. He was wearing a raincoat outside. Baloney.
10:21 left. They've called timeout. We're laughing, and thus far it's been a laugher for Texas. After all, they lead by 18 points.
A beautiful.
Much above his average. By the way, a week from tomorrow, once the Super Bowl is over but not forgotten, Marquette and Duke. Robinson has the rebound. Brunkovic. 19-point lead, but a lot of time left. 10 points. Purvis Miller goes up. No good. Brannion with the rebound.
And there again, nobody anywhere near the rebounding area.
Miller almost to a foul as he glanced off the leg of Johnny Moore. A little bit later, much later, we'll have to figure out who is the most valuable player. Krivaks might be one, right?
Well, there you have another case. An automatic switch because of a solid screen. Krivaks wide open. Robinson backs off Krivaks. Now that's in his shooting range. You can't let the guy just put it up.
20 points for Krivaks.
And still the matchup zone, and now it's really been effective. Good pass.
And the ball is put in by Carpino. Again, that matchup zone, I think, Al, is what he described it. You play man-on-man with the guy with the ball, and away from the ball, you zone.
And when they cut, you pass them along verbally, but sometimes you stay with the cutter.
Brannion's going to be way short, and it goes off the hands, I believe, of Robinson, but kept in bounds, and having a tough time with it is Carpino.
Fans got excited, but that was a good no call by the official.
All from behind, Ron Baxter, I believe.
There's a lot of time left in this game. There's 9:03. They're down by 19 points. If they can if they can score 2 points this time, they might have a chance. I'm not trying to, make a game that's not a game, but there's a good chance.
Excuse me, Al. Dave Shepard's going to come in for Ron Baxter. That's Bob Boyd. Remember, he said last Tuesday, I'm through at the end of this year. He's in his 13th season. Outstanding draft last year, I should say recruiting year, last year and again this year. Whoever comes in, if he doesn't stay, is going to have some kind of ball club. Purvis Miller. Miller now has 8 in this half and a total of 12.
You see how much more effective the press is with Whitfeld in the game because he's actually guarding his man.
8 minutes, 35 seconds to go. Abe Lemons has done a job of spoiling these Longhorn fans that never had a real basketball program before. Krivaks is going to be short here and a whistle underneath. But they were the winners of the NIT. Brannion pushed off. And when they got off to a slow start this year, some of the Longhorn fans said, wait a minute, what's going on here? But he's brought them back together. And believe it or not, they've never seen them lose in this arena. 21 games. Looking down from way up above.
I think this is as fine an arena as there is in the country to watch basketball. Just a great place.
Williams from outside and now has 10 points in this half.
This is what I say. Maurice Williams hit 5 for 5. He hasn't seen the ball in the last 6 minutes. When a guy has a hot hand, give him all he can eat.
There's Brannion again, another smart play. Foul. Carpino on Stroud.
Foul is on number 24, Don Carpino. His fourth personal.
Jim, I was talking about Brannion. There's a little trouble in the backcourt. He has enough sense to come up, get in an open passing lane. That never shows up on the statistics, but when the game is over, you didn't throw the ball away because he had enough sense to come to it. He's just a very, very intelligent basketball player.
He releases the pressure.
Foul and no 1-and-1 there, but
there he is.
Now has 13 points in this half, 19 overall, and it's 66-49.
He shoots like an injured swan. He seems to be leaning one way or the other.
I don't want to take anything away from him because he's a great young individual, but he has no business even on this court as far as physical talent is concerned.
I thought he may be the MVP.
That's right.
Carpino in foul trouble, gets the Purvis Miller and takes it all the way in before he shoots the ball. Had a clear shot.
Nobody in position to rebound again. That's really been Southern Cal's problem.
7:20 to go now. It was Southern Cal early on, but their biggest lead ever was 3 points. At the half, it was 38-25. Texas Freebacks gets it up and in.
Beautiful. He played it off the backboard. That's the way to play a shot when you're going at the basket. The one that first started that was Elgin Baylor from Seattle University years ago.
Southern Cal said they would rather beat Arizona State, which they did, than Texas, because Arizona State's in the Pac-10. But they want to get their act together before they go back to Pac-10 competition.
I don't believe all that stuff, Jimmy. I honestly believe that every game's an important game, that there are 5 young Americans out there trying to beat 5 other young Americans.
See the pass, and Ratkovich doing a nice job getting the ball inside. Purvis Miller has it. There's one of the few things Stroud did incorrectly all day. He went up a little bit too soon to foul in there on Branyan, and that is number what on for him, Jim? That's at least 3. Yeah.
How do you say that you don't believe all that? But I still have to bring up again, I wonder what the effect that it has on 5 young Americans, as you call them, to have their coach say, I'm through, when he recruited them.
Well, that's something like that happened with me when I retired and left coaching. We went into a drought for the next 2 games because I don't think in coaching you can have a lame duck.
Yeah, but all those players cheered when you announced that.
Also the athletic board and the faculty.
Yeah.
The only thing my wife got upset about is I lost the parking space at the arena.
Branyan has it knocked away by Williams, who draws the foul. He thought he had a block. Williams now in foul trouble.
He came over the shoulder. Really difficult to block a shot here. Now, Krivax and Texas forcing the ball down the court very well. Here's Branyan again in position. Now, you're very seldom going to block a shot coming over a guy's back like that. No question about him having the ball, but he also got the arm.
Branyan's got 19 points. He is 3 for 3 from the foul line, 13 points in the second half. There's the 20. The people what Billy said, on a high school championship team, on a junior college championship team, on a college NIT championship team, he's doing something right, Billy.
That's right. He's just a winner.
19-point lead, 6:43 to go. Both teams started 10-4. Both teams 5-1. In their respective conferences, the Southwest Conference. There's Robinson. He has not seen too much of this potential All-American today.
Well, he has great talent, but he has a hard time. He's not patient. When he doesn't get the ball for a while, he gets a little impatient, tries to put it up.
Well, he breaks down their defense because he doesn't play the man-to-man under pressure. Under pressure, all 5 men must play equally hard.
Shepard takes the shot. Good. And as they come back down court, let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC television network.
Channel 36, KTVB in Austin.
Jim Simpson, Al McGuire, Billy Packer, and there's Carfino missing. Miller tried to follow up, could not get it, and Stroud comes down with it. Well, it has been all Texas since the first 6 or 7 minutes.
This Dave Shepard that's coming off the bench has really played a solid game.
He's going to be their star next year. The other 4 guys are seniors, where USC really has freshmen and sophomores, so there's a great future at USC.
That was a good call on Branyan.
Yeah, Williams had position in there. That's the 4th.
All in his half, Billy.
Here comes a super high school All-American.
Lionel Marchetti out of Los Angeles, number 32, in your picture right there. We're at a 1-on-1 situation, remember, so they're coming down the other end of the court.
Al, that's a point. You never gave freshmen, with the exception maybe of Butch, an opportunity to have much stardom on purpose. Now, that's a tough transition, isn't it?
Even Butch, I wouldn't give any recognition in his freshman year. Matter of fact, the only way that Butch got recognition, he got a hot hand when he played the Olympics with Puerto Rico against the United States, and it kind of broke up our publicity scheme. I believe that to run a dynasty, it must be an orderly thing, and the seniors must be your stars.
Robinson with the rebound and his shot. No good. Branyan there, operating under the basket. 4 personal fouls, drags it down. 5.5 minutes to go.
There's another case where Robinson predetermines that he's going to shoot the ball. As soon as he got that rebound, he knew he was going to put it up.
There's the man.
Oh, boy. Good feed. Great catch. Nice shot.
23 points, 17 in this half.
And all we keep doing is knocking them.
Williams from outside. Boy, he has got some kind of shot. Freshman out of Los Angeles also. He's got 12 points from the floor, 13 altogether.
See, there's Stroud coming down court. They throw the ball to Stroud. That eliminates the press. Because Robinson's 40 feet away from him. And I'm not knocking Robinson as much as he's got to learn that part of the game also.
Brannion is wide open.
Credit Krivak's having enough sense to go ahead and take 2 men with him on the reverse dribble.
Tyrone, Brannion, we give up.
We surrender. That's what Bob Boyd's saying too, Al.
The Alamo.
See, he's got his mind made up. He's going to shoot that ball. And there was nothing available.
2 shots he took, 3 shots he took, no good. Jones tries to save it, and he's out of bounds. Abe Lemon is up on the floor, so his team is down 76-56 instead of up by 20.
Abe thinks that the perfect coaching job is to be a millionaire. He said no one else can coach.
Well, he was making a point there to Shepard saying, hey, fella, you can't head off for the fast break till we get the rebound. Get in there and board.
Krivak. Arpino on him, and now Brannion, no good.
Take him out, he missed a shot.
Arpino taking a shot with everybody else back up the court.
It's getting to be just garbage now to coming down and taking flyers.
Just took a shot with 3 of the men still almost at midcourt.
I'd like to hear the little conversation Abe just had with Brannion there. Probably tell him something about, it had to be a wisecrack. Slow down. We'll make you an All-American next year or something, and he's a senior.
Bob Boyd talking to his All-American potential. The 3-top Robinson.
He wears that headband as an identification. He wears them in practice and everything.
Stroud is at the line. Whitfeld drew the foul. Stroud now has 9 points. 8 of those in the first half. When he was a savior for Texas when things were going a little tough. He simply outplayed Robinson. Matter of fact, took the ball by 1 ton to Cliff's complete surprise.
And he's really the catalyst of that defense, too, because you have to have somebody back in there that recognizes openings. And he does a good job back there. Look at him turning his head around, trying to find where men are in the zone.
And there's Whitfeld from the side. Brannion goes up, Whitfield follows, no good. Brannion tries to haul it in and does. Funny thing about us, Stroud, you talk to people around Texas, almost just a filler in there at center. Just a filler. He's playing some kind of game today. Stroud.
But you notice how he's used as a filler, too. He never goes under the basket. Here he is out away. They're wanting to play him 4-on-4 now. You see this? Oh, that's a fast whistle.
Wow.
Abe calls his patterns formations.
Look at Abe. Abe is laughing at him. Say, ref, you got to be kidding.
That's one of the quickest 5 I've seen.
I think the ref got a little bit confused. Look at Abe. He's really...
Okay, we got the camera on you, friend. You're leading, 3:29 to go. It is Texas 78, Southern California 56, and they called timeout here in Austin. They called Roy Hammerin, and the truck pick. Well, they're divided, Pittsburgh and Dallas, but the bench is all Pittsburgh with the exception of Mr. Billy Packer, who passed. That was Marchetti getting his first basket.
He came right in the ball game. As Al talked about, he was highly heralded as a high school player in Los Angeles last year.
There's 3 freshmen out there now for USC.
3:03 to go. You know, you've been knocking a few of the players. You have, the 2 of you. And now Al McGuire says, I don't think that the people here really know how to root for basketball. It sounds like a football crowd to me.
Well, I think it is a football crowd. I'm not that aware. Don't forget, last year when Texas won the NIT, that was the first postseason tournament for a Southeastern team.
Looks like he might have taken an extra step there, but he follows up the shot, no good. Stroud comes down with a rebound. Here's Krivak taking the shot off the backboard, this time no good. And Whitfeld hustles in, and Krivak may have reached in and got them.
And Abe is telling Jim, hey, look, let's go. Let's just slow down. Don't need to take a shot like that. 2:30 to go.
At one time, Southern Cal in this half was 5 for 6. Now they're 12 for 30. There's our Gillette MVP winner, Tyrone Brannion. He has done it again, despite what you two say. $1,000 goes to the University of Texas in his name, and he'll get a letter commemorating the event. Brannion, who has 7 field goals in this half, and a total of 19 points in this half and 25 for the game.
Hey, Al, before the game started, you felt that Southern Cal be one of the 40 teams in the NCAA playoffs. How about Texas?
I think Texas will definitely be one of them. They have a tough tournament after the conference, this tournament who goes. But I think you'll see at least 2 teams from this conference go. And it's a rule only 2 can go.
Right. You think they can win the NCAA play?
No, I don't think they can win the NCAA. They don't have the aircraft carrier. You've got to have a man in the middle to win.
Oh, good catch!
Henry Johnson, a freshman, led that ball to Phil Stroud for the 2 points. Whitfield. Stroud. Henry Johnson also from Los Angeles. Here's Branyan, knocked away by Ratkovich.
Johnson wears glasses. They're protective glasses. He only has one eye, and the school's afraid of him damaging the one good eye.
The true out, that's an NCAA rule. If you do have eye damage, you must wear something like that. I believe it is. Moore has had a good game himself. Drops it through. Donnie Moore now has a total of 13 points. Less than 2 minutes to go. Envy you fellows next week. Notre Dame at Maryland, Marquette at Duke. Whitfield drops it through. I'll be watching.
Notre Dame, Maryland should really be a shootout.
That's the count. Oh, look at this. Here's Johnson all by himself. Oh, you think Dean Jones fouled him or not?
And that was a smart foul. He didn't try to hurt him. He just tried to go after the ball hard. There's a case Johnson took his time.
Marshall Johnson had a knee last year, so he's listed as a freshman. He is an eligibility, but he hurt his knee, but he's an outstanding player. He and Dave Shepard were the co-players of the year in Los Angeles.
You know, when you talk about red shirting, the public mightn't understand it. You're allowed to have your 4 years of eligibility, athletic eligibility, in 5-year period. So this young fella still has this year and 3 more.
Henry Johnson.
And O.V. Dotson's in the ball game now also. So have 3 starters in there and 2 subs.
O.V. is a senior out of nearby San Antonio. And carries the number 15. Johnson's got his first point of this game. It's 83-62. Texas nearly all the way since the opening 4 or 5 moments. And you talked about Dotson, and I believe he's drawn his first personal foul.
Whitfield's playing a real tough ball game.
Trevax goes out. 22 points unofficially for Jim Trevax. 10 in the first half, 12 in this half. The pure shooter drafted by Kansas City a year ago.
You know, he's the only person on the team that's married. He has a 2-year-old daughter called Kelly.
KK. Kelly Trevax. Whitfield. He was 2 for 2 from the line with a total of 4 points.
You know, he's also a transfer from Auburn.
That's an unusual thing, too, to see a transfer who then goes on to have a good leadership, solid career at another school. Now the press is a lot different than it was before. Everybody's working out there. A lot different.
Johnson draws the foul. We're going to have time once this game is over, gentlemen, for the 2 of you to go out and talk to Abe Lemons again, and maybe I'll sick you both on Tyrone Branyan. You can tell him what you've been telling me about him before you gave him the MVP award.
About the underwear hanging out of his pants?
That's not all. Ratkovich. Whistle underneath. Ooh. Boy, it's getting tough under there.
Whitfield's playing mighty tough in there.
Johnson draws his second foul within about 8 seconds. And now going out is Stroud, the man they call the filler, but who winds up with 13 points and an outstanding defensive effort. Consider that Cliff Robinson has 6 in this half, 7 in the first, 13 altogether. Below his average. Larry Brooks at the line. He has not scored yet today.
You watch the interview. Watch the interview with Abe Lemons. He'll play his team down. They're lucky to win.
He's been totally in control of this ball game, with the exception of the very first 30 or 40 seconds.
Plus, he called a key timeout with about 8 minutes into the half, and they cut it down to 9 points.
Well, Abe was in the big time. He said he was 18 years at Oklahoma City, 3 years at Pan American, never had a school song. He used to just stand around and hum. He's got the eyes of Texas, and they're on him today.
Look at that press now. See, nobody is open.
Johnson tries to bring it up. Dotson. Shepard. Moore is the only starter out there. Blundell is in there, and it is Shepard. Knocks it in now, has 6 points. 45 seconds to go. 85, 64. Whistle again. It's getting a little ragged, folks.
Well, Ovi Dotson came down on it. He had perfect position to make the block and came down hard with the hand.
Last year, Dave Shepard went 0 for 6 in the game, and the coach Abe took him out. And he says to Abe, "Let me have one more shot." Abe said, "Sit down."
Well, that's John Moore going out. That's the end of the starters.
Rob Cunningham, a freshman, has come in. Not even listed in the statistics.
Well, his dad was a player at the University of North Carolina in that 57 championship team. So I'm sure he's happy to see his son get in there.
Ball is intercepted. That Rutledge will have an easy layup. Whoa! I was wrong. Johnson knocks it away. The freshman, Dotson, lost the ball. Palm, but coming down. 24 seconds to go. 20-point lead for Texas.
You know, the fans are starting to love this because it's getting like football out.
Yeah. Henry Johnson makes a tremendous move here, Billy, from the back. Watch it.
Well, we're going to see. This is OV when he lost the ball coming down here. Dotson, he just kept going and bangs into Whitfield, but it was already after the turnover.
Ball is off the foot of Shepard. Immediately after this game, Southern California will take the bus to the airport, fly to Tucson, where on Monday they've got to face Arizona, which upset UCLA earlier this week. It's not an easy road trip for the Trojans. Whitfield. Ball is partially blocked and the whistle blows, and that may be Cunningham.
The team that's going to win the Pac-10, I believe, will have 5 losses.
You hear all these definite statements out of Al week after week after week.
He is a poor man's Jimmy the Greek, and neither one of them are very accurate.
Well, he fits Pittsburgh tomorrow big.
Oh, he's...
Hey, Billy, you keep playing hot lunch for orphans. You won't make a decision. You're in that ACC all the time.
Whitfield now has 5 in a row from the line and a total of 7 points.
By the way, the fans at Duke University can't